gonna be a long, hope you guys have your popcorn. Hey guys, how is it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be me answering your guys' questions that you asked me on Instagram. I really like doing these videos because you guys can get to know me a little bit better. Before we hop into today's video, I am going to be sharing the sponsor for today's video, which is Skillshare. You guys know I absolutely love Skillshare. I've been using Skillshare for over a year now. If you have never heard of Skillshare before in your life, which I'm sure you have because they're amazing, it is a website where they have thousands of classes for creative people out there trying to learn something new. I have watched so many different classes on photography, time management, business, things like that. The one that I'm currently loving right now is more blog specific, but it is kind of, it's relevant to a vlogger because blogs and vlogs are kind of, it is different, but a lot of the principles in the background behind the scenes are kind of the same. I've been really into this class and I actually have a notebook right here that I keep all of my notes whenever I research stuff. I research stuff often. Skillshare is one of the biggest areas that I do research things. I get a lot of questions from you guys like, how do you start a YouTube channel? You can find videos on Skillshare on how to start a YouTube channel or a blog or how to be a better photographer. There are so many things that you can learn. Skillshare is so reasonably priced. It is less than $10 a month when you get their yearly subscription. But if you're not ready to commit and you want to give it a try, the first 1,000 people that clink, oh my word, words are hard. I wish Skillshare had a video on how to make words not hard. The first 1,000 of you that click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare. You really can't go wrong, you guys. I love Skillshare and I will keep on telling you guys that. I don't know, so yeah. All right, let's just jump into the Q&A portion of this video. I will link in the eye in the sky previous Q&As that I have done, and also follow me on Instagram if you have Instagram, because I will often do impromptu Q&As via my Instagram stories. The first question I'm going to answer is, how is the homeschooling going, and do you know how long until the girls are back in school? For those of you that don't know, my kids have been completely virtual for 2 months now. They were supposed to go back last week for about 2 days a week. And then they changed their mind because, if you don't know, I live in Wisconsin and Wisconsin is currently a hot spot, so the kids have not gone back to school. It was really rocky in the beginning, honestly, and I think we're kind of getting into a routine. It's hard, I'm not gonna lie, especially now that it is getting to be fall and winter and it's cold and we can't really go outside. You guys can watch this video where I talk, it's kind of like a life update video, and I ended up giving my girls their own room just so they had their own space because they were really having a hard time being together 24/7 all the time, which made it really challenging. That's kind of how it's going. It's going a little bit better, but I really would like them to go back to school. The next question is, how do you manage holiday stress on top of everything else? Honestly, I really haven't had time to stress about it. I'm just kind of trying to survive day by day. Legit, I really am. The next question is, do you plan on sharing your holiday shopping list for the girls again this year? Probably, but I first need to do the shopping, but I have toyed around with making some gift guides that I'll probably share on Instagram, and probably, honestly, I'll make a video about it. So let me know if that's something that you guys are interested in, and I will do that for you guys. The next question is, how did you handle nursing school pregnant and with a newborn? Honestly, I feel like those days are such a blur. Handling the stress, honestly, I just took it day by day. I do have a video that I will link for you guys in the eye in the sky on how I basically survived nursing school with a family. Honestly, just taking it day by day. If you have family that can help you, that's really important. Having an open conversation and great communication with your partner. These are just the things that really helped me. So, like I said, go watch that video. Lots of great nuggets in there, and just do your best and try to make some time for yourself. Just try. Time for yourself and time for your kids, where you just try your best to not feel guilty. The next question is, how do you make being a mom look so easy? I am really sorry if that's how it looks, because that is definitely not the way it is. Being a mom's hard, especially, it just is. Especially right now, trying to be a mom and a teacher, kind of. Hold on, you guys are kind of crooked, it's like bothering me. Being a mom is not easy, and I really try not to make it look like it's easy to you guys. It's not. It's not easy. Don't worry, you're not alone. All right, the next question is, where in Arizona do we want to live? So I've mentioned it a couple times that we have considered moving, and it's a very real possibility. We would like to move south, but obviously it's a really difficult decision to move away from family, so we're not entirely sure. But we do want to move to Arizona, probably in the Phoenix area. Next question is, how do you stop social media jealousy? Everyone has beautiful new houses, I feel like. This is definitely something I have struggled with. I mean, you guys know I don't have like the perfect house. I don't have like a brand new house. My house was built in the 50s. I have oak trim. And honestly, like, I let myself get caught up in that, but at the end of the day, I have a beautiful house. Like, so many people would love to have my house. And I, as somebody who grew up, oh my gosh, I moved so many times growing up, and I almost always lived in an apartment, and all I ever wanted was to live in a house. When I was in middle school and high school, all my friends had houses, and all I wanted was to live in a house and not an apartment. So really just grounding yourself and being grateful for what you have has really helped me. Like, I love my house. It's not cookie cutter like everything else on YouTube, but I think that's what kind of makes me unique, and who cares? Don't get sucked in. Like I said, if you get sucked in, my best tip is just practice gratitude, because there's somebody out there that would just die for the things that you have. So I am very grateful. I have a lovely house. It may not look like everybody else's house, but it is a beautiful house. I love this house. All right, next question is going to be featuring the desks that I refuse to move, because I could move it and pretend that my life is like perfect and my house is perfectly clean, but you know, segueing off that last question, it's just not gonna happen. These are the IKEA desks for the kids that we have yet to put together. So, me and the IKEA desks are gonna answer this next question. Please update us on your scans now that you posted more about it. I hope you're okay. So, for those of you that watch almost all of my videos, probably know about this. If you don't, I'll fill you in. Back in May, I was really sick and I couldn't really figure out what was wrong with me. I got COVID tested on like a Thursday, and then I had to get COVID tested again several days later just because of everything going on, and that's just what they do at work when you're sick. They have you get COVID tested. So I went for the second COVID test and they were still not very happy with everything. I was extremely fatigued and I had like my lymph nodes were like visibly swollen. So they were kind of concerned about that. So the doctor ran a bunch of lab work to check, basically to check my labs to see if I had like cancer. That's just what they told me, which was kind of scary. And then I got home and I got a phone call right when I got home that said, your D-dimer is elevated. Your D-dimer is basically a marker that shows that you have clot products breaking down, which can happen if you have some sort of blood clot, pulmonary embolism, things like that. So they freaked out, which thus freaked me out because I was at home. I'm like crying the whole way to the hospital. They're like, we're worried that you might have a PE, which is a pulmonary embolism, which is a clot that travels up to your lungs and it can be fatal. So, so I was a little nervous, whatever, got that done. I was, what is it called? Like a scan and hold or a scan and wait or something. Basically, I had to stay at the hospital until they read my scan. Had that done. They're like, hey, you don't have a PE. However, you have several lung nodules. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to have you have a follow-up scan in 6 months. Between May and now, I have been a wreck. Straight up wreck, which is a huge reason why I kind of put the candle stuff on hold and really just kind of took a step back momentarily from YouTube. It was really eating at me. I'm just gonna be real and raw in this. It's so hard to be vulnerable, you guys. It really just ate me alive. And the most difficult part is one of my nodules is a little bit larger, and I literally had a case where it was a lobectomy, which is where you have part of your lung removed, and that person's lung nodule was 2 millimeters bigger than my largest one. 2 millimeters. And I'm like gonna cry thinking about it. And that was so hard, you guys. Like, when I did that case, I was so scared. And like having the knowledge and the background that I have, I'm able to read like a lot of research and a lot of scientific journals and things like that, which can be great, but also can be a detriment. Basically what I had read is that the #1 cause of multiple lung nodules is metastatic disease. So in simpler terms, cancer that spread from somewhere else into the lungs. So at that point, I'm like freaking out, like internally, like just freaking out, because your girl ain't ready to go, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up, I don't have a PCP, so I reached out to the urgent care doctor that had ordered my original scan. I was like, hey, my next scan wasn't supposed to be until December. Why am I so emotional? I'm telling you guys, this has been very stressful. Whew, I haven't cried on YouTube in a long time. Holy cow. Anywho, let me get a tissue. My makeup looks cute and everything. It's gonna be a long, I hope you guys have your popcorn. Anyway, so I ended up reaching out and I was like, hey, I've been quite anxious about this. I would really like to push up the scan if possible. They're like, yeah, totally cool. So then it was a Thursday and I couldn't go on Friday because I worked. So I scheduled it for Monday, what I thought was after work, which is the whole rigmarole. And I didn't tell anybody. And I don't know why. Like, when you're dealing with something like that, it's like nobody knows how you're feeling. Unless they've been through it. So I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to worry Charlie. So I really internalized a lot of my fears. Why am I crying? I internalized this the whole time. Which is probably why I'm crying. So maybe don't do that. With all that said, I had my repeat scan on Monday, last Monday. So a little over a week ago, I had my repeat scan. I was so anxious and they ended up screwing up my scheduling. Pre-registration called me like, oh, so we'll see you at this time. I'm like, I'm still at work. So then I had to tell the lead like, hey, like, this is what's going on. Don't tell anybody. I just really kind of kept it to myself, had my scan, had to wait an agonizing week, which doesn't seem like a long time. I shouldn't even say a week. I had to wait like, I think I found out my results on Friday. My nodules are stable. I literally like got the email when I pulled into my driveway, put my car in park, didn't even pull into my garage, and I read the results and I just sat and I cried. Because it was such a relief. I'm not really necessarily out of the woods yet. I have to have another scan in 6 more months and they'll probably follow me for a few years. And it was just really brutal. So that's kind of like an update. Next question. Next question featuring this basket of laundry. If you can't see it, it's not there. So the next question is, can you share your tips for self-care? I'm also a working mama and can really use some ideas. Honestly, my biggest self-care thing that I feel like I always talk about is exercise. That is something that just really helps me. Something else I really enjoy doing is sometimes I will go to bed early and just read a book, which I know not everybody likes reading, but that's something I really like to do. Or just really like prioritizing yourself. Sometimes on the weekends, like I will be like, hey hon, I'm gonna go get coffee, and then I'll go like sit somewhere and enjoy my coffee by myself. Or like FaceTime a friend, a family member, things like that. That's kind of what I do for self-care. Have you ever traveled to Ohio or Pennsylvania? I have not traveled to either of those places. All right, next question is, how do you edit your vlogs? What program do you use? I use a program called Leaf Suckers. Hold up, leaf suckers are sucking. We know. Yep, carry on. The next question is, how do you edit your vlogs? What program do you use? All right, so here's the deal. I use a program called Final Cut Pro X, which is a very expensive program, but I started on iMovie, and I used iMovie for years and years. Final Cut Pro is really just a beefed up version of iMovie. I think people could totally get away with iMovie. Now I'm like spoiled and used to it that I can't imagine life without it, but iMovie. And I also get a lot of questions on the cameras that I use and the equipment, so I will leave all of that linked down below for you guys. The camera that I'm actually filming on right now is a G7X. So this is a G7X Mark II. I have a little like microphone guy. So whenever it's windy, you can get these on Amazon. Whenever it's windy, it just kind of makes it less windy. And then there's a flip up screen. Hey guys, what's up? So you can be all like, Inception. And then this is just, goes on my tripod. So they actually have a G7X Mark III, but I actually bought this even after the Mark III was out because I heard it's awful. So I have so many of these. I need to send them in to get repaired. I have like 4 of these. It's bad. And then this is just the tripod that I have from Best Buy. It's really nice because you can just kind of adjust this, which is really sweet. And then I also have 2 DSLRs, which I started out with a, this is a Canon Rebel T5i. They're probably onto like the T7i for all I know. I actually gave this camera to Charlie just because I upgraded. So this is the Canon 80D. This is my Big Guns camera. This is typically what I would actually film this sit down video with, but I just wasn't feeling like it. so I didn't. I also have a Rode mic that attaches up here, so I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood. So that is what I use. Like I said, I'll link any of the stuff down in the description. And in case you forget and you can't find this video, I pretty much always have it linked in the description of my videos. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. What are you waiting for? Just do it, because there's a huge learning curve. I'm still learning every day on how to make my videos better, so do it. The next question is, what advice do you have for a baby nurse who lacks confidence? I have always gone with fake it until you make it. Obviously within reason. My biggest thing is always be safe. If you can't do something safely, don't do it. Ask questions, but honestly, just fake it till you make it. Give yourself a pep talk. Tell yourself you're a badass. I'm making the dog upset. That's my advice. Fake it till you make it, sweets. Natural remedies for anxiety. A huge thing that I have to do is I need to watch whenever I'm anxious. I make sure to try to like cut down on my caffeine. Am I getting enough sleep? And exercise. You guys know I'm a huge, I don't even need to repeat it. And exercise is something in daily. Can you guys tell I'm anxious today? I can't even get my dang words out. Number one, I try to watch my caffeine consumption. It's a natural thing. Number two, Natural Calm, which is like a magnesium supplement that I will take before bed. Not only does it help you relax, it also helps you stay regular. You know what I'm saying? And then thirdly, exercise is something that's really important to me. And when I'm like losing my mind, my anxiety is through the roof, I will also add in meditation, which is something that I should be doing all the time anyway, but you know, I'm not. Any tips for new grad nurse interviews? I have multiple interviews this week. I will link that video for you. I did a collab video with Nurse Liz, so I will link my video in the Eye in the Sky, and I'll try to link hers if I can as well. Otherwise, look down below. Lots of great tips. This next question I got asked numerous times, so I don't know if you guys are like super nervous about becoming a nurse or what, but the question is, do you ever regret nursing as a career / would you do things differently? I really wouldn't say that I regret nursing as a career. Is nursing what I thought it would be? Absolutely not. It isn't at all. I thought it would be like sunshine and rainbows and I would be like helping people left and right. And unfortunately, that's just not the reality of it. If you're curious, I do have a video that I made a long time ago. The things I wish I would have known before becoming a nurse. I think I was still on the floor or freshly off the floor. And I should probably go watch that because I don't know if I feel the same way. I might feel a little bit differently. Do I regret it? No, I don't. Do I regret the way that I got my nursing degree? It's hard to say because life is not linear. Hindsight is 20/20. Looking back, I wish I would have known I wanted to be a nurse or realized that I was destined to be a nurse before I did, because basically I had all my prereqs done. I went to a tech to consider getting my ADN because I really just wanted to get my degree and get working because I had 2 kids. We were living on one income and it was tough. So I went to a tech school to try to get my ADN and they said basically I would be wasting my time because I already have my prereqs. It would take me the same amount of time to get my ADN as it would my BSN. So the school that I was at that time was very competitive and very difficult to get into their nursing program, and I was like, I don't want to mess with this. Like I said, I just want to be working. I need to graduate ASAP. So I ended up going to a private school, which was very, very expensive and thus a lot of student loan debt. So if there's anything I wish I could have changed, maybe it would have been that. But like I said, life is not linear. Hindsight's 20/20. I did what I thought was the best at the time. So I don't regret being a nurse. There are so many different avenues of nursing, which is one of the huge reasons I went into nursing. If you don't like one area of nursing, you can go do something completely different. So no, I don't regret being a nurse. The next question is, how's Delilah doing? Tell the people how you're doing.
Okay.
You doing good?
Yeah. And I haven't been noticing my headaches that much.
Yeah?
Because I'm busy, I think.
Yeah. Delilah's doing great.
Yes, I am.
The next question is, what was your hardest semester in nursing and did you ever feel like you wouldn't make it? Honestly, I don't remember what my hardest semester was. I think they were all really hard. I probably would have been able to tell you that a few years ago, but honestly, I don't remember. There were lots of times where I didn't think I would make it. I would be so anxious about exams, even though I think I failed one exam in nursing school, but I remember after failing that exam, I can't do it. I'm not gonna graduate. Like, I think it's very normal to worry that you're not gonna make it, especially since the grading skills are so tough. But if you put in the work and you ask for help when you need it, You should be fine. You can do this. I believe in you. Next question is, what made you guys want to move? Honestly, we have been talking about moving for a really long time, years and years, and it's not gonna happen anytime soon. It will probably be next year, but we would have to get the house ready for selling, which it needs a little bit of help to get there. But we have considered moving somewhere south just because it is so cold here in the winter. We're stuck inside for 6 to 7 months out of the year. It is brutal, it is dark, it is dreary. That's a really big reason why we wanna move. We wanna move somewhere where we're able to be outside more. So that's kind of why we were considering moving. Okay, next question. Failed my LPN boards 3 times. Thoughts on how to study, or do I give up? I don't think you should give up. I really think that UWorld was a huge reason that I passed NCLEX in 75 questions. I would assume LPN boards are the same or similar format to RN boards, so if you're really kind of at your wit's end, it is an investment, but I highly recommend using UWorld because it helped me understand how to answer the questions, whether you knew the knowledge or not, if that makes sense. So maybe give that a shot. Don't give up. If it's your dream, don't give up. Is getting up early harder or easier with kids? I would say it's absolutely harder because you have multiple factors. Did your kids wake up last night? Did they go to bed at a decent time? Did you go to bed at a decent time? It is way easier to get up early when you don't have kids. With that said, I still get up early with kids. It's harder when they're babies because obviously like I breastfed my kids, so getting up numerous times throughout the night, it's almost impossible to get up. I slept as much as I possibly could, but definitely easier doing everything without children, but wouldn't change it for the world. Where do you find vegan meal inspiration? Lately, I've been going to Pinterest and just typing in like vegan meal ideas, but my biggest go-to place is Google. I just Google like easy vegan recipes, easy healthy vegan recipes. If I have something specifically in mind, like a pumpkin pie, easy vegan pumpkin pie, easy vegan mushroom stroganoff. Y'all know that I love that mushroom stroganoff. That's where I get my vegan meal inspiration, especially when I'm sick and tired of food, which is presently. The next question is, how similar is outpatient to inpatient surgery? I work in outpatient derm surgery. It's hard to tell because I really don't work in outpatient very often, but outpatient tends to be quicker, so the cases are shorter, turnover is quicker. You typically don't have call, you typically will have to stay till the end of the day. Sometimes that can be staying over. This is just kind of, obviously every facility is gonna be different. And then inpatient, you have call, you have more emergent surgeries, whereas outpatient is more like your routine surgeries. Obviously any surgery can have risks and complications, but you're gonna have more unstable things inpatient. Let's see, what else? That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's plenty more. So if you work in inpatient or outpatient, or you've done both, please leave a comment. OR update, please. How you feeling now compared to when you started your OR specialty? I feel a lot better than I did when I started, but I'm still not where I want to be. It's gonna take a couple years, a few years maybe, to feel where I want to feel. The nice thing about the OR is it's always changing. You never know what your next day is gonna be, which can either make or break you, because if you're someone who thrives on routine, which is something that I have struggled with, it's really challenging. But I do really enjoy the OR. I enjoy it more the more comfortable that I get, if that makes sense. So there's your little update. The next question is, would you consider furthering your career when the girls get older, like becoming an NP? So becoming a nurse practitioner has always been kind of my end goal, but being in school with a family is very hard, and I was going to go back in January, so almost a year ago now, since it's November now, and I'm so glad I didn't, especially considering COVID going on, but had like started my application and everything, and ultimately I just decided I just can't put my family through that again right now. I want to enjoy my kids growing, I want to enjoy working and not having to work and then do schoolwork afterwards. I feel like I did that way too long. My school journey was well over 5 years. I just need a break. So maybe, I don't know. I still don't know if that's something that I will do, but it is a very real possibility that I might. So we'll see. Favorite drink at Starbucks is definitely a skinny cinnamon dolce latte with either soy or almond milk. Soy tastes better, almond milk's got a little less calories. Let me know down below what your favorite dairy-free Starbucks drinks are, because your girl needs some new suggestions. But I also just like getting coffee with soy milk as a creamer. What is my favorite Dunkin' Donuts order? Honestly, I do not drink enough Dunkin' Donuts to have a favorite, so leave me your Dunkin' Donuts orders down below. Where am I gonna go next? You never know. Speaking of which, someone asked me if I was planning on any vacations. No. Not during COVID, maybe after. Dream vacation, Hawaii. I would love to get to Hawaii at some point. The next question is, would you ever go back to med-surg? I never say never because I just think that you never know. Life changes, and some things that I thought I would never do, I do, and whatever. Probably not. Most likely, I will not go back to med-surg. The only thing I miss from med-surg is my coworkers that I worked with in med-surg. The next question is, best advice for new OR circulators coming from med-surg? Throw out everything that you've learned because it's kind of useless in surgery. So you can watch all of kind of my like update videos, so I kind of share my journey being an OR nurse. Just be in for the ride, realize that it's a totally new, it's not even like a different ball game, it's a different sport, honestly. Just hang in there, stay at least a year, give yourself the chance. That's probably my best advice, and ask a lot of questions. What happened to your candle business? Let's get into that. A combination of I was completely overworking myself and kind of going through that emotional journey with the lung nodules and stuff. I realized that life is super short, and I was literally, I had no spare time ever, and I hadn't even launched yet. So I decided to kind of put that on the back burner. I haven't made a candle in a long time. I also lost my office because Winnie got a new bedroom. And my stuff is still packed in the basement. I still have to unpack it. So right now the candle business is on hold. 2 more questions that I'm going to answer. The first one is, do the girls like to be on the vlogs? They do. They enjoy being on the vlogs more than I enjoy them being on the vlogs. I don't know, I've just gotten more private throughout the years, and I do like putting them on the vlogs, but in small doses. I don't know why, it's just how I feel. And then the last question I'm gonna answer is, has YouTube become an income for your family, or is it more like a hobby / memory keeping? I am lucky enough to say YouTube is my part-time job. I do make money on YouTube from the ads and sponsorships, things like that, which is really nice because you guys may or may not know, but I dropped my hours so I could stay home with the kids. So YouTube is a little bit of a part-time job. I also enjoy it. That's the best part about it, is it is still a hobby, but I'm able to bring in a little bit of extra money. So I really appreciate that you guys watch my videos and that you have supported me throughout the years. It really truly means so much. But with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. This is probably my longest Q&A video ever. Make sure you guys check the link in my description to try out Skillshare for free, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all are the best.